It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and we're back with another Tiny Rebel beer. They've launched quite a lot as of March 2025 in the supermarkets of Tesco and Sainsbury's. This one is from Sainsbury's. It's called Hop Hut Summer Slam IPA. It's 5.5% ABV. Just realised I picked up a bit of a damaged can. Bit of a dent there, bit of a smash on the bottom. Probably won't affect the beer at all. But yeah, just be careful with your supermarket beer. They might be a little bit dented. Store cold, drink fresh. They're certified a B Corporation. Whatever that means. Tiny Rebel, so the hops are Citra and Idaho 7. The taste is citrus, orange peel and mango. It looks interesting. Now, from looking at it, I can't work out if it's one of those beers that's going to have concentrates in it. Like the fruit concentrates that I'm really not a fan of. By reading the can, by reading the side of the can, Citra and Idaho 7, it's offering up a little bit more of a promise when you read the can of you know, hoppy IPA, I should say. It was a 4 for 3 deal, so you buy 3 cans, you get your 4th free. At 5.5% ABV, this would have been at least £3.50 to buy. So if you buy that on a 4 for 3 deal, that's coming in at about, what, £2.50, £2.60, something like that. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. Or of course, if you bought the can on its own, it's going to cost you £3.50, isn't it? And I've got to be honest with you, and I'm not sure, there is a dilemma, isn't there? Let's pour the beer out first and then we'll talk about the dilemma. It's the 4 for 3 dilemma. Do you pick up that extra can to get the free beer? Does that make sense? We'll get to that in a moment. Beer in the glass, we got a 1 to 2 finger white head. Good levels of slow moving carbonation. It's hazy. Straw coloured. Not much in the way of sediment in the bottom of the glass. I just want to get the aroma. Ooh. I think there's a little bit, maybe, a little bit of that kind of cordial concentrate just from the aroma. It's a slightly weird, it doesn't strike me as 100% hops. I don't know though. I'm a little bit undecided. It's it's got that kind of tropical IPA aroma to it. Tutti fruity, mixed fruit jam aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, I think they've been quite... I'm going to make it... well, of course, 100% always honest. I think that's why people tune into this channel. I think there's some of that cordial, like tropical concentrate in the beer, but it's been dialed back. It's almost as if all of these breweries now who have been putting beer into the supermarkets over the last few years, they started to kind of creep in this, I don't like it. I don't like it. This kind of horrible, cordial, like concentrated, tropical, artificial things that go in the beer, yeah? A bit like buying a cheap bottle of Lidl concentrated squash, tropical flavour, pouring a bit too much in your glass, filling it with water. You have that first taste and you're like, well, that's a bit strong. That's a bit kind of like too much cordial. We went through that with beer. They were using these cordials, these concentrates, and there was just too much going in. I think Tiny Rebel have been a little bit clever here in that they've dialed it back. They've dialed back. There's definitely some in there, in my personal opinion. There's definitely some of that kind of concentrated tropical cordial stuff in there, but they've dialed it back. They've actually added some hops into this now, and they're kind of like, maybe we took it a bit too far. Lots of breweries did. You've only got to look at Northern Monk and the ice cream flake beer from 2023. I think that was the low of this stuff, you know, this concentrated rubbish. Chocolate raspberry pale ale type horrible beer from Northern Monk. That was the low point, I think. But this, I think the question is always to ask is, or the question to ask is, would you buy it again? It's not bad, actually. It actually works really well with the hops. You get a little bit of bitterness from the hops. You get that kind of organic hop, grapefruit, orange peel, fleshy blood orange taste, but with a little bit of that kind of tropical concentrate too. It kind of, it does work. It does work. It's almost like, if you do like these cordial beers, these tropical IPAs, then this is probably the best of both worlds. I will always lean into 100% hops in my beer, to the point where I'd had enough of these cordial tropical IPAs and I just drank a lot of German beer and Czech beer in 2022, 2023. You've probably seen that on the channel. I think I would. Do you know, if you go into the supermarket, there's not much choice. You want something slightly different. It's quite refreshing. It's quite drinkable. There's a little bit of sweetness from the malt. There's a little bit of bitterness there. First and foremost is beer. It's definitely beer first before being a cordial mess. I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Nothing else there. I pick up a couple of cans of this. To my dilemma earlier on. So my dilemma is, I actually had this in Sainsbury's last week when I picked up these beers. Sometimes you can pick up so I had about eight beers in my trolley. And you know, they add up, don't they? £3 a can, they start to add up, and you're kind of looking at it and you're like, there's another 2 beers that you haven't tried, and you're like, I'll put them 2 beers in a trolley. Do I buy that extra 3rd beer to get the 4th beer free? That's the dilemma, isn't it? Do you sometimes you're just happy with a couple of beers, aren't you? And then you're like, do I buy that 3rd can to get that 4 for 3 deal? Which the supermarket, of course, wants you to do. But then you look at it at the shelf and you're like, there's nothing really that I want to have 2 cans of. You're like, I was kind of like, oh, well, maybe I'll get another Mad Squirrel, or, you know, Buzzkill by Mad Squirrel, or to get the 4th one free. But then what would be my 4th beer? What would I choose? and I'm sure we've all been in that too. We're all standing there scratching our heads in the supermarket. Do I spend that extra £3.50 to get a £3.50 can for free? And you're like, that was a dilemma I was talking about earlier on. But thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.